sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. The Padres are in Pittsburgh today at 3:40. Dylan Cease will be on the mound for the Padres, while Mitch Keller will be going for the Pirates. That'll be the beginning of 3 games. The run total is set at 7.5 after opening at 9.5, and Greg Popovich will no longer be the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. He will move into the front office per Shams Charania. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Check the clock.
What time is it?
It's high noon. Let the weekend begin. It begins this afternoon as the Padres are in the Steel City for a series versus the Pirates. Plus, SDFC hosts Dallas FC.
We need to feel it on Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium.
And the Stanley Cup playoffs continue.
Well, for some.
The Edmonton Oilers victorious 6-4 over the Kings tonight in Game 6. They win the series 4-2.
Sorry, Sammy.
I think this actually totally sucks.
We'll look for therapy in the Fletch Zone.
Yeah, welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. It's going to be a fun one today. Sammy's just had a terrible week. Now he's crying about the Kings. What happened there?
For the 4th year in a row, my Kings go home once again because they don't have the speed to deal with Draisaitl and McDavid. It's been a brutal week. It's been an absolutely brutal week in the sports world. I'm very defeated, and we're looking to go into the weekend. Hopefully, maybe we could get a win someday.
Well, Sammy needs a happy Friday today. So you know what? Text line today, let's be positive. 70470. Start your message with team. Positivity flowing in the direction of one Sammy Long, who hasn't won a long shots bet in weeks at this point, it feels like. Whose Lakers just got knocked out of the postseason, whose Kings just got knocked out of the postseason. His hair isn't even looking that good today. So Sammy Long.
Whoa. I disagree with you on the hair.
He needs some help here on a Friday. So text line, load us up, 70470. Start your message with team. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long, we're with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. To start with a huge thank you to everybody who showed up to KMB Bistro this morning for Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. We had a hell of a time. I know there's a lot of people who listen to 1015 KGB in the morning. Jump over here at noon. I sure do appreciate that, man. It's the Big Rich, TD, and Fletch love to the Fletch Zone. But it was a ton of fun this morning. Sammy, you swung by for the last hour or so of the show. That was a cool atmosphere, huh?
It was fantastic. It was really fun down there. It was such a great spot. I mean, between like the bar and then just kind of wall to wall alcohol. It was fun. It was a fun party down there. And shout out to everyone who came out.
Sammy did not leave empty handed. What did you sneak out with?
I bought a mezcal, a tequila, and gin.
And you went with the Ryan Reynolds gin.
You have such a. I was talking to our promotion, Taylor Yip, and she's like, "I don't know why you have a problem with."
I love Ryan Reynolds, but here's my whole thinking on booze. As soon as the celebrity gets attached to it, the quality of the booze starts to go down.
That's not true. Dos Hombres is one of the best mezcals there are. It's Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston.
But you like it more because you're attached to Breaking Bad.
No, because it's actually a good mezcal.
Sure, maybe, but I just think that the quality starts to take a
hating
dip.
on celebrities.
It is San Diego Sports 760. We're with you for a couple hours today. Can't wait to get into the Padres because it looks like they're getting a couple of their stars back. Jackson Merrill and Brandon Lockridge, who not really a star, but are making their way back to the lineup. Expect to see them during this Yankees series, or maybe the Yankees series after this Pittsburgh Pirates series, maybe even a little bit earlier during this Pirates series. But the Padres do hit the road for the next 10 days. NBA playoffs last night was really fantastic. I took an early bedtime, so I didn't catch all of the Denver and Clippers game, but I watched the New York and Detroit game. And that Jalen Brunson dude, when the clutch nuts were needed, the clutch nuts he provided, stepping up, knocking down a three to send Detroit home. New York is going to move on to take on Boston. The Clippers did get a win, evening up their series with the Denver Nuggets, and so that one will go to Denver for the 2 best words in all of sports. Sammy saying with me, the 2 best words in sports, game 7. Can't wait for that. We'll see if Kawhi can pull it up again and make his way into yet another postseason series. All right, Big 3. We do this every single day at the top of the show. We go through the top stories in the world of sports. Sammy Long, take us on a journey, my friend. Hit that button.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends?
Co-workers?
It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
Catch us on the stream, both on YouTube and on X. On YouTube, we are at San Diego Sports 760. That bad boy stays live from noon all the way till 6 o'clock with John and Jim. And on X, we are at Fletch and Sammy. At Fletch and Sammy. Please give us a follow there. We will follow you back immediately. Sammy, where are we going to start today?
All right, let's start with those New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson is the game winner against the Pistons. Woo. They will take on Boston. Do they have any shot in this series?
Probably not. Unless Jalen Brunson starts to go God mode, which he did a little bit last night. Look, I love it when you see those individualistic moments in team games where a dude steps up and says, all right, team, jump on. We are going for it. And that's exactly what Brunson did last night. And it's cool to see when something like that happens in sports. So if Jalen Brunson can do that, now over a 7-game series, especially in basketball, it's tricky, man. Generally, the better team on paper ends up winning a lot of these series, as we saw with the Timberwolves and the Lakers. But when you look forward to this one, I don't even think Sammy caught that one. When you look forward to the Jalen Brunson taking on the Boston
What do you? I was reading the text.
Well, I was saying how in basketball, a lot of times in a 7-game series, the better team on paper is always going to win, just like we saw with the Timberwolves and the Lakers.
I have nothing to say. I mean, they are the better team, I guess.
So as the Knicks go on to take the Celtics, I feel like the Celtics probably take this one, but I like the Knicks, man. I like Jalen Brunson. I like the way he plays.
I think they get one at the Garden because it's a tough place to play. They don't have the legs to beat Boston in a 7-game series. It's the problem with Tibbs. We've been talking about it all season. They're able to get through a Detroit team that's young, feisty, probably should have won game 4 with the Tim Hardaway foul, but hey, they dispatched them. Boston's a different beast. And the problem with Boston is they're just lethal on the bench. Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench. I mean, they have stars that come off the bench. It's not just Tatum and Brown. This is probably going to be a tough uphill battle. If they want any shot in this series, they have to steal one at Boston, hope to split in the Garden and make magic happen. But
poor Tibbs, man, we're gonna have to see his face on TV for another 5 or 6 games. My God, that dude.
After you said that, I was like, Tibbs, we gotta do something with that hair.
But Tibbs needs one of them darkness retreats that Aaron Rodgers went on. Maybe a spa retreat where Tibbs just goes away for a little bit and comes back totally rejuvenated. Maybe goes out to Thailand and just has a little quiet week for Tibbs. He looks so anxiety riddled and he's so high strung and his hair is so. I mean, I'm not one to really talk about a lack there.
Yeah,
of hair,
I don't know. You should be going with hair,
but it's bad on Tibbs, dude. Like I'm fine with my bald head. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's but maybe an NBA title for him would do some good.
That
for him.
might help.
Now, Knicks fans, if they win one of these games, are going to be. This is going to be. I mean, New York, stand up. That's what we're going to hear all day from Stephen A.
Oh, I like that.
All right, Padres starting a 9-game road trip. What is an acceptable record for the Padres on their 9-game road trip between the Pirates, Yankees, and the Rockies?
Give me 5-4.
5-4. That's not shooting very high.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's better than their road record so far this year. Give me 5-4. Give me 2 wins in Pittsburgh. Give me 1 win in New York. 2 wins in Colorado. That's 5.
How many in New York? You said
1.
See, I think they should shoot a little bit higher than that. I mean, I hear people going like, "Oh, 6-3," and it's great because I think to sweep the Pirates and the Rockies. We know that the Rockies.
You're not sweeping the Rockies, dude.
That's what.
Not in Denver.
The Rockies in Denver. That's a tough place to play. So the Padres should get credit if they win that series. The Pirates are a lot more than just Skeens. Skeens. The Padres are missing Paul Skeens, so that is good in terms of that sense. But this is not kind of a rollover team. They're a lot better than their record. They were close to hitting the playoffs last year, looking to get it this year. And the Yankees would love to see them go 2-1. If that's possible, going into New York, getting a 2-1 series win. Because, again, it's kind of got quieted after the Giants 2-game sweep. But in a full 3-game series or 4-game set, the Padres haven't fared super well against the upper echelon teams. It'd be nice to see them get a road series win over the Yankees.
If you told me that at the conclusion of this 9-game roadie, we're sitting there talking about 2 wins in Pittsburgh, 1 win in New York, 2 wins in Colorado, I'm telling you, I'd have a hard time being upset about it.
Okay. I think we should have higher expectations.
I think I'm happy with 5-4. Get back to Petco Park.
All right. Massive fight card in the middle of Times Square today with Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and Teofimo Lopez getting going at 2:30. Where else would be a cool place to stage a fight? This is in the middle of Times Square. For those of you who haven't seen the specs, it's literally where the ball drops, where Seacrest, where everyone's there on New Year's Eve. It's in the middle. They built bleachers up. If you're staying in the hotels, if you're staying in any of this stuff, you can watch the fight.
This is freaking cool. Like I don't oftentimes give credit to gimmicky things, and I don't know that it is a gimmick. That's what this is. You're adding more viewers just because of the location. I'll tell you, it's got me. Like, I'm considering buying the card just because of the fact that it is smack dab in the middle of Times Square. This is really cool. If you're talking about locations, just start taking the Assassin's Creed video games and going to where they did them. So that means we're getting one on a pirate ship. We're getting one in the middle of like Mount Olympus.
because there's pirate ships going all the time.
You know, there could be. There's a pirate ship in San Diego, Sammy. We all know that. It's down in Little Italy. So as you kind of keep moving the goalpost, now, Sammy, before the show did throw out Alcatraz as an option. And why did you say Alcatraz would be cool, Sammy? Go ahead.
I thought it'd be cool for the inmates to be watching the fight.
So you thought that Alcatraz, which is the famous prison just off the coast of the San Francisco Bay, it's a little bit of a ferry ride to get out there, which would be, I'm not denying that it would be a very, very cool event to host a boxing match. But you think it would be cool because
of the inmates.
The inmates
and
who are going to be...
First off, it was brought to my attention about 5 minutes ago that Alcatraz is not a running prison. I thought for sure. I didn't know that just because Al Capone died, they let it go.
Since 1963.
I mean, we got an island floating out there, and no one, it's not being used. I mean, what are we doing with our tax dollars? This is insane to me. I swear, hand on a Bible, thought it was an active prison till 12 o'clock today.
Has not been an active prison since the early 60s.
Maybe we should get back to that. I think it'd be cool. Nice little bump up for San Francisco. But I would love to see a fight there.
It would be cool.
They talked about Teofimo Lopez fighting there, but yeah, it takes a little bit of sting out of it now that there's no, I mean, maybe there's like ghosts and stuff.
You can go stand in the jail cells, and they do say it is haunted. I've done the tour of Alcatraz. It's awesome. Like, it is incredible. You feel like you're kind of walking into history, but you can go, and I think there's a picture of me and my brother somewhere of us like kind of looking out of the jail cells. But it is a cool thing to go to. But yet there hasn't been inmates in Alcatraz since the early 60s.
And then you could have, I mean, you could have like a round robin. Like maybe if there's a criminal in there that can beat a pro fighter, they get out. It's kind of like a trade.
Yeah, but there's not criminals in there.
I'm just saying if there were criminals there, I think we could do a lot of fun things with this card.
Maybe.
Shorten jail sentences by 10 years of landing shots.
Alcatraz is our number one option.
I think Alcatraz would be cool.
Text line 70470.
Or what's the big tower in Dubai? You know, the
something. It's not Wiz Khalifa, but that's the rapper.
The Wiz Khalifa.
It is. I think it's something Khalifa. Khalif. I don't know. 70470. Start your message with team. Where would the best place to host a boxing match be? Because right now, Ryan Garcia is getting ready to compete in a boxing match in the middle of Times Square. Very, very cool. We started the show off today by saying we need some positives for Sammy Long, who's had a rough week. All his teams are just getting eliminated all over the place. 619 says, buck up, Sammy. At least your Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Oops. I mean, at least you live in San Diego.
At least we live in San Diego.
619, here's something positive for Sammy. Some of us ignore his long shots and enjoy the games without worrying about wasting our money by following degenerate gambler like Sammy.
I was talking to Rich earlier at your guys' remote, and all he said was Kate Cunningham sold the bag.
Are you talking about Rich McGuire?
Rich McGuire, the man, dude. Met Rich, met Alicia, met a lot of great people there. But Kate Cunningham. Kate Cunningham missed a couple easy threes, too. Very disappointing, Cade. He's not on the blacklist because Cade is still a baller, has won us a few of these, but listen, if you're going to have that kind of negativity against sort of long shots, guess what? We're going to turn it around. And everyone who's been riding with us, it's a setback for the comeback. That's the kind of motto for today's show.
619, great seeing you guys at KMB Bistro this morning. Marcos from PB. Marcos, good to see you too. Marcos walked home with the prize. I can't remember exactly what he won. Hit us up, Marcos. I know you won something out there. It might have been a gift card to KMB.
It's funny. I didn't really get any prize. I ended up having to spend $120 on alcohol.
Sammy, here's the deal. You were not eligible to win prizes because you are an employee. San Diego Sports 760. That was a ton of fun this morning. Had a blast. 858 saying, my cousin is doing a swim from the shore to Alcatraz this weekend. Shout out, Trey. My uncle has done that swim before. It's crazy tough. And there's also like sharks out there. So careful, cousin Trey. Don't get eaten by a shark.
Don't make them worry all weekend.
Dude, it's a gnarly swim.
There's a bunch. There's like cops out there. They got gun. They're not letting them get eaten by sharks.
Okay, yeah. So somebody standing on a boat is gonna stop a shark. Okay,
do you think that they're just like, oh hey, there's shark infested waters. Let's let them swim to Alcatraz. This is a safe thing.
Trey,
858, good for you, man.
Trey, I hope you make it out. San Diego Sports 760.
There are prisoners there. There'd be less of a chance.
Nick Cage is gonna be there just waiting for him. It's San Diego Sports 760. Coming up next, we'll get into this Padres road trip. We talked about what record would be acceptable, but who's coming back for the Pods and when are they coming back? We'll tell you next.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This This report is sponsored by eBay.
There's a South 5 lane closure in Oceanside before Harbor Drive to the 76, so you are slow in that area. North 15 past Via Rancho Parkway, a large box in the carpool lane, the left lane, and a crash reported west 8 at the 125 to the shoulder. I'm Mark Zegan, Cocoa Traffic.
Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at the prices you'll love. eBay. Things people love.
Doja Cat, Gwen Stefani, Meghan Trainor, David Guetta, Cat's Eye, and more. Huntington City Beach. Wango Tango is just a few days away. Get your tickets now. AXS.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention, anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, or other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-709-3207. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-709-3207 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-709-3207. 800-709-3207. 800-709-3207.
Hey, it's Fletch for my friend Gary Cooper over at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. Gary Cooper has been doing it for a long time right here in San Diego. Why would you trust someone out of market with your home or with your home purchase when Gary Cooper's been doing it right here for more than 20 years in San Diego? He knows the area. He knows the pitfalls. Call Gary Cooper today, 858-376-1299. That's 858-376-1299, or visit him at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Gary prides himself on eliminating the smoke and mirrors and the shell games when it comes to different mortgages. He's told you why when you call 5 different companies, you get 5 different answers concerning interest rates and closing costs and how no points, no cost loans don't really work. Call Gary at 858-376-1299. Gary Cooper is the absolute man. My wife and I, we went and sat down with him up in Rancho Bernardo in his office for a couple of hours as we're kind of getting started on this home buying journey. And we talked for 2 hours, and all the different meetings that we had leading up to that with different realty companies and different mortgage companies, everything became clear within that 2-hour window with Gary Cooper. And he tells it to you straight. Look, if he doesn't think you're ready, he's not going to recommend that you buy. That's not something that every mortgage lender would do. Gary Cooper is the absolute man. I'm a good friend of his. I've known him for about 5 years now. Trust him with our future because it's the biggest purchase we're ever going to make, the biggest investment we will ever make. If you're ready to take that next step or to sell your current home, give Gary Cooper a call, 858-376-1299. That's 858-376-1299. Tell him Fletch sent you or visit the website at mountaintrustmortgage.com.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked the homeowner in with an APR in the low 5s, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 619-207-4336. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. I'll be honest, running a little bit on empty today. That was a busy morning out at K&B Bistro. Appreciate everybody who went out and stopped by, said hi, had a drink. $5 margaritas for sale this morning. That was a hoot. I did not partake, unfortunately. I'll be waiting until after the show to have my $5 margarita. But the 619, who was Marcos, who won a prize this morning, I couldn't remember what prize he won, so I asked him to respond. And 619 says, I was talking to TD's mom, didn't hear you guys calling my name, but I won the gift card. Marcos putting in some work with TD's mom. Come
TD's
on.
mom's a sweetheart. I was talking to her too.
She is a very, very sweet lady. And Dale, you are a saint. I don't know how you birthed the after Christ like you did. That's not the right word. Antichrist like you did. Yeah. But TD is a good guy too, I guess. 747, you got to bring the nipple show up to North County. Yeah, the nips were out this morning. 619, Sammy, stop drinking so much in the morning. Pirates just missed a playoff spot last season. They finished 13 games behind the final wild card spot, 17 games behind Milwaukee in their division.
They tanked in the second part of the year. They were really hot out the gate. So that's what I was trying to say.
Paul Skeens at some point?
Right, because they were out of contention at the end. That's what I was saying. You know what I was saying, 619.
You know what I was saying, 619. I'm Sammy, and I'm tough.
Please. It's tough for people who don't have hair to look tough.
Did you see Greg Popovich's the Popovich news this morning?
Yeah, that's sad, man. That sucks because he missed all the season and obviously health concerns there. He's moving up into the front office, which is cool that he's still there. But man, it sucked because the last time Popovich was out there, he looked definitely looked like he was fighting something. And one of the all-time great head coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the all-time NBA. You talk about reverend like guys like Kobe, LeBron had for him because he didn't take. I mean, hell, he got Kawhi Leonard out of town because Kawhi Leonard wouldn't really fall in line. He put up with stars and he knew how to coach them.
I've always been a fan of Popovich as a coach. He's had some legendary players, some legendary teams with the San Antonio Spurs. It does sound like he's going to be moving up to the front office as the president of basketball operations, something like that for the San Antonio Spurs. So Popovich, you talk about one of the last true legends who kind of ushered in the new era of basketball because Pop was part of the old era too. I don't know that basketball's necessarily gotten better under this new administration, you would say, but Popovich has been a legend in both worlds. I got a text from our buddy Derek Togerson.
What do you say?
Good Lord, Sammy. Alcatraz active. Tell him to go rent the documentary about the prison. I'm sure he'll find it at a Blockbuster nearby.
Well, Blockbusters are out of business, sadly.
So is Alcatraz. That was the joke.
Oh, I was like, what?
He says also the best place to stage a boxing match would be the Coliseum in Rome. There hasn't been an official event held there in 1,500 years.
That'd be fun, little gladiator style.
I'd watch. You'd have to get the right type of person, though.
But to Derek Togerson is listening, I think we should bring back both Alcatraz and Blockbuster. I've been a major proponent.
And the Coliseum.
Gladiator Let's fights. Bring it all back. I mean, back in the day, they knew what was right. You know what I mean? Blockbuster, you know how fun it was when you go get a movie and rent it. You get your little box with a little candy, little soda. Now it's just you can get it online. It's a little much. I think same thing with Alcatraz. We need to bring it back.
I'm kind of shocked you're old enough to remember going into Blockbusters.
Oh, I went to Blockbuster all the time. I had a membership. I was South Pasadena, right off Arroyo Seco.
It was right next to our grocery store back in Merced. I would remember like begging my mom to go to Blockbuster after so I could rent Air Bud again for the 19th time.
Air Bud.
That's a great movie, dude. Come on.
You rented Air Bud multiple times?
Oh, yeah. I think we eventually just bought it.
Fletcher.
You don't like Air Bud?
No, I think it's funny that the Fletcher household's going broke because the Air Bud's been rented 162 times.
It's accurate. We also got news that LeBron did suffer that MCL sprain in Game 5. So we were kind of talking about the Dante DiVincenzo hit on LeBron, whether that was clean or not. I thought it was kind of wimpy for LeBron to go down, but I wonder if that
LeBron doesn't just go down though. No, he doesn't. LeBron is say what you want about LeBron. You want to say he's not the GOAT, that's fine.
He's a huge flopper. That's what I'll say about LeBron.
He's not.
Yes,
he's tough. He does not come out of games. When was the last time he has never not started a playoff game in his entire 21-year career?
He did suffer an MCL sprain. I'm going to say this. I think that the MCL was already sprained heading into that game. Because he was wearing that sleeve. It didn't seem like that hard of a hit. His knee did twist a little bit, which it doesn't take much to tear your ACL or your MCL. And so LeBron in that moment might have made it worse, but I think that was already a problem.
I just have a hard time with people giving advice who's trip on acorns and rip their leg up.
Actually,
people who are playing professional basketball.
Broke my tibia and my fibula in that exact moment that
It's
you're
kind of
speaking
hard
of,
to do on
and
an
I
acorn.
didn't do it on the acorn. The acorn was on my left foot, actually. And so when I slipped on the acorn and loose gravel, by the way, the guy who came and helped me up also slipped and fell on his butt. When I fell, my right leg was still trapped on the top of the slope. And so when I fell backwards, my own ass was the thing that broke my leg. Was not the acorn.
Luckily, you got a little padding there, so it's good.
This fake news that goes around about me just stepping on one little
That's
acorn.
not what Travis Dale said.
Rolling my ankle.
Not what Travis Dale said.
Not what happened. My butt broke my leg. I'm much more proud of that. Thank you. San Diego Sports 760. We talk Zero Padres here.
We'll get into Padres next segment.
We will talk to
we
Padres.
got distracted with Blockbuster and Alcatraz.
I have a feeling Derek Togerson wants to jump on the show, so we're going to text him, see if he wants to join and talk some Padres with us. And you know, Derek Togerson, also huge Harry Potter nerd, which was the theme in the show earlier this week. So let's get into it all. It's a freaking Friday, bro. San Diego Sports 760. Let's party.
The sport sponsored by Macy's Backstage. Padres back after an off day yesterday in Pittsburgh, taking on the Pirates. That game will get going at 3:40. Padres open as -150 favorites and are still currently -155. Mitch Keller will be going for the Pirates, while Dylan Cease will be going for the Pods. And in the NBA tonight, possible closeout game in Golden State. Golden State leads the series 3-2 over the Rockets. That'll get going at 6 o'clock. Golden State is currently favored by 5.5, with the point total set at 207.5. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about fun Mother's Day gifts, all for under $15? Get low prices every day on unique finds before they're gone. In store only at Macy's Backstage today. Find a location near you at macysbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
San Diego Sports 760 here on a Friday. 17 years ago today. Iron Man released in theaters. The Marvel Cinematic Universe was born.
You going to see Thunderbolts this weekend?
Abso-freaking-lutely, dude. I can't wait. Big Florence Pugh fan.
Whew. I hope Kendall's not listening.
And David Harbour. No, she knows. David Harbour's pretty awesome, too. I like that guy. All right, we did call him, and Derek Togerson is here. He wants to talk about the Coliseum. He wants to talk about Alcatraz. He wants to talk about Harry Potter, all the things with Derek Togerson. Togs, what's going on, pal?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on a Friday. First time caller, long time listener.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening, as I like to do with you guys, because you guys do a good job and you're very entertaining. And then when I heard Sammy not knowing that Alcatraz was closed, I'm like, I don't expect people to have knowledge about everything, but there's certain baselines that folks should have, especially if they're in the realm of the public eye. And the fact that the most notorious prison in the history of the United States of America has not been operable for half of a century probably should be on the list.
So tell us what we need to know about Alcatraz, Togs, because you seem like you know a lot.
Well, it's one of the most haunted places in America, allegedly. Al Capone was held there. Some of the one of the more notorious escape attempts of all the prisons was there. Michael Bay made another terrible movie about it. It's one of those places where legends and myths are born because it was so unique and so tragic and so inhumane with the way that they treated prisoners. The way that people were held there, like prison laws changed based on the treatment of inmates there. Like it's a part of one of the more darker areas of American history, but it's fascinating.
Togerson, but in a way though, because there's a lot of ghosts there, technically there's still people there. They're just not physically there. So I wasn't completely wrong.
There's energy there. Yes.
Yes.
If you're counting energy, then Petco Park also now has 92,000 fans every game. So but you can't count that, unfortunately, because you didn't sell the ticket.
That's a great point. All right, so where would be the best place to hold a fight in current day as Madison Square Garden, Times Square is about to host a boxing match?
Times Square is a pretty good one.
That's pretty good.
Solid. I brought the Coliseum just because if you talk about again the very nasty history of that place, but the fact that nothing has been held there since there was an animal hunt in 532 AD. Was the last officially sanctioned event in that place. And, with the success of the terrible Gladiator movies, kind of people have put that back.
Whoa, did you say terrible?
Oh, time out. Flag on the play. What about Gladiator? Now, I'll be honest, I've not seen the second one. What about the first Gladiator movie is terrible?
Okay, this is where I'm very strange, and everyone's going to look at me like you're a freaking idiot. And I know that, and I can't get out of my head. And then this is where I land on this. Where is Rome located? What country?
Italy.
So why is everyone talking with a British accent?
You know what? Solid point.
That's interesting. He's not from Rome though.
Yeah, he is the Spaniard.
So British accent. They don't talk like that in Spain either. It's a stupid reason to hate a movie, but I got in Troy, some of those period pieces. Just because it's a period piece does not mean you have to speak. And I'd much rather you do what Tom Cruise did in Valkyrie. That's all in Germany. They'd be speaking German anyway. Don't even try to do a German accent. Just act. Just say the lines and then roll along with it. I'd rather you not even try.
That's interesting. I never even put together they had British accents in that. I'm going to go back and watch Gladiator tonight.
I'm kind of mad at Derek, honestly, for putting a little nugget in my head about one of my favorite movies I've ever seen in my life. Thanks, Derek.
Hey, you're welcome. Hey, you wanted to have me on. You asked the question.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I can't. I know it's a stupid reason to hate a movie, but I cannot get it out of my head.
Speaking of stuff that makes people mad, especially here in San Diego, how about those Padres, huh? I mean, other than the last 2 games, it's been a pretty rough stretch. Most of that's injuries. We know that. But with guys coming back this weekend, here's the question I would have for you, Derek. Did the last 15 games or so prove that Jackson Merrill is already the leader of this team?
I don't know. It's certainly possible. If it was just Jackson Merrill and maybe one other guy that went down, you can make the argument and that would be a pretty clear argument. But the fact that they're missing, Jake Cronenworth and everybody who was out, you got guys like Tyler Wade and Connor Jobe never really played playing center field, and you're down to your 4th string center field. And he didn't have Luis Arias for a while, and he didn't have Jason Haber for a while. Since you got all of these guys who are not there, it's hard to say it's just because of Jackson Merrill. And by the way, the second that Arise and Hayward came back, they took 2 straight from the Giants, who were in first place at the time. So is it possible to say that? Yes. And he has been around the club. I've seen him in the clubhouse every time I go over there, rehabbing that thing. And by the way, I did see the back of his hamstring. That thing was black and blue. Like he's got some stuff going on there.
Dude, it was like he fought in the Coliseum.
Yeah, exactly. He had a tiger come directly up from behind him and rip that thing right off. It was a pretty nasty injury. So the fact that he's coming back even this quickly from a hamstring is phenomenal. Tells you how badly that kid wants to get back. I know, by the way, how well youth heals. It's so nice to be 21 years old and be able to come back that quickly. I envy him that. But if it was just him who was gone and all of these losses had piled up, and you can make that argument, I think he's a huge piece of this, and he may be one of the emotional leaders. But the fact that they did take 2 out of 3 when they got a couple other guys back, I think shows that, this is a much more complete team than just Jackson Merrill is the leader of it.
Derek, what do you think for the Padres starting rotation? Who's under the most pressure of the top 4 during this road trip?
Dylan Cease. He's got to start looking like Dylan Cease. Michael King's been fantastic. Nick Pivetta has been better than anybody could have thought he would have been. Randy Vasquez kind of is what we knew he was. Like Dennis Green, he is who we thought he was, where he's going to have a couple of really good outings and a couple where he just kind of scuffles and doesn't look bad, but doesn't look great and gets you through 4 and a third. And then it's kind of a, hybrid bullpen piggyback kind of game. Dylan Cease is supposed to be the guy who is the best stuff on the staff, the no-hit caliber stuff, the guy who, remember the month of May last year, had like a 1.02 ERA or whatever it was. He's got to go back to being Dylan Cease, because right now I know there are whispers of, okay, he added this changeup and he added this 2-seam. Well, now the slider is now looking as effective and dominant as it was. So by adding those 2 pitches, did he subtract from his bread and butter? So he's going to have to prove that he can put all of this together and go back to being the dominant Dylan Cease that we've seen in the past. So again, we have seen him have stretches like this in his career, maybe not quite this lengthy and certainly not the start of season. And it's not time to panic by any stretch with Dylan Cease, but that's the guy who I want to look at and go, okay, put it all together now and show me that you are the guy that we've all seen and loved.
All right, Ben Wade, who was played by Russell Crowe in 3:10 to Yuma, or Maximus, who was played by Russell Crowe in the movie Gladiator. Take the guns out of it. This is a fist fight because obviously there was guns in 3:10 to Yuma. But who's winning in a fist fight between those 2 characters?
Oh, the guy from 3:10 to Yuma.
I think so too.
Yeah, he was also around 1,800, 2,000 years later, and through simple human evolution. I mean, the Maximus guy would have been like 5'6" and 180 pounds, and he would have been a massive human being back then. So through simple human evolution, the guy who was the more modern one would be much bigger, much stronger, and much more capable of winning a fight.
Yeah, I think it's around the same technique I was going to go with that one. Thank you, Derek. Good job. Yesterday on the show, it got brought up about, I think this was on the text line, comparing San Diego Sports 760 and Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, I guess, to Harry Potter characters. Sammy was immediately tagged with Luna Lovegood, which I feel like is the perfect description.
Jim couldn't be better. Yeah,
John Schaefer. Who was John? Who did he get?
John.
Voldemort.
I don't think I've thought about this though.
Voldemort.
Voldemort. John is Voldemort.
Physical appearance. I mean,
TD definitely got Mad Eye Moody, which makes sense.
You know what? I figured out who Jim Russell is, and we thought about this last night. He's Lucius Malfoy. He's Malfoy
because he's so negative all the time.
Yeah, it's literally his persona.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, but Lucius Malfoy was purely evil. I think Jim is more Draco Malfoy because he's just kind of like not nearly as dangerous. Just likes to kind of talk a big game that doesn't back it up all that way.
And he's always kind of battling that battle within himself. He's like, do I say
the intrusive thoughts?
Do I say this thing to John and do I not? Yeah, that's a good one. Who are you, Derek?
Oh, good, great. Cedric Diggory, probably.
Oh, Cedric, the flowing hair.
Yeah, the tragic hero. The tragic hero of them all. Now, who did you guys get?
I think someone ended up just calling me Dobby, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, Dobby or Voldemort. They say because he was bald. Text line really compared him to Voldemort.
I'll take Dobby all day. He's a hero in his own right. Togs, you're the best, man. Appreciate your time. We'll talk some Padres in a couple weeks. Maybe some more movie stuff too. Anything left on wisdom from you're not old. I'm not saying you're old, but your older age to impart upon young Sammy here.
Dude, I'm going to be 50 in like a couple months. So yeah, you can classify me as old. Yeah, just make sure that before you bring up things that are very, very famous, look them up real quick so that you can make sure you're right about them.
Will do.
Because being wrong about something as obvious as Alcatraz is not a great look. So just a real quick Google search. And you'll be off and running.
I think it really plays perfectly into Sammy's persona that he's building here.
But to be fair, I said this off air, and then of course he writes everything I say off. I forget that things I say off air he writes down to repeat on air. So I gotta shut my mouth around Ben Fletcher.
There's the other piece of advice: is when you're around Fletch, nothing is off air.
Yes, nothing is off air.
Literally everything is fodder for on air.
Especially
that's the other part.
Like my God, that party that Togerson and I went to, where Derek, you remember, where the police got involved, and it was just nuts.
Oh, it was insane. Yeah, it was great. That's probably a story for off air just because of the number of four-letter words that would be used. But yeah, that was fantastic.
All right, Togs. Appreciate you, man. You have a great day.
See y'all.
Derek Togerson, NBC 7. He's doing some good stuff, man. What is even happening today, Sammy?
It's a Friday. People are excited.
I got my dog licking his balls over here. This is just a wild day. Literally, he's nonstop. I can't believe the camera hasn't picked this up yet, or the mics have not.
So hold on. In 42 minutes of the clock time, we have hit Padres. We have hit NBA. We have hit comparing ourselves to Harry Potter characters. Apparently, Derek Togerson thinks the Gladiator movies suck, which is a baffling take to me.
He does bring up a really annoying part about the Gladiator movies that never once crossed my mind until today.
Text line's pouring in right now. 619. Schaefer is Percy Weasley.
That's not bad.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense.
I'm getting more Neville Longbottoms, more Ron Weasleys. God, man.
TD's Ron.
TD is totally Ron. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. We're going to take a break. Coming up next, long shots. No Cade Cunningham worries tonight. That dude's bounced. He's in Cancun. Maybe his number of margaritas more than or less than. Take the over.
I think he's still en route right now.
Long shots coming up next. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. Some funny texts coming in. We'll get back to them in hour number 2. We got long shots coming up in just a couple minutes, but I did want to take a moment to maybe, piss people off a little bit. It's not me. I'm just delivering some news here.
What's the news?
Yesterday, actually on Trending with TD on 101.5 KGB, we had a report that this October, Grand Theft Auto 6 was going to finally release. This October. Today, about 2 hours ago, Rockstar Games put out a notice online.
Rockstar Games.
That's the name of the company.
No, I know.
They put out a notice online that the game has been delayed until May of 2026.
Really?
That is a year from right now.
Well, this game's been delayed like 20 times. At some point, it's like, who cares?
I'm caring less. I'm going to buy it.
You look very sad over there.
I'm going to enjoy it. But at a certain point, like, what are we even doing here?
I don't know. Are you a big GTA guy?
I mean, I enjoy it. I have fun.
Sitting alone.
But the first one came out when I was in high school.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since then.
A little bit of a throwback for you.
Yeah, literally. So, like, what are we doing? Like, why are we?
Maybe someone from Rockstar Games listening. You can create a whole tradition now.
Listen to me, Rockstar Games. Stop saying one thing when you're going to do something else. Listen to me, Padres. Stop saying one thing when your injuries are actually worse than you say. What happened to truth, Sammy? What happened to truth? Long shots.
Let's see. Underdogs? Nah, that's old. Those with a less than good chance of winning? Too wordy. Wait, got it. It's time for Sammy's long shots.
We got some positivity percolating on the text line here. 858 says this Harden-Halliburton series average that we failed is showing as active and still taunting me. We need to get a dub today, Sammy.
I love that mindset. That's the kind of mindset I need on here. Because Fletch is always coming at me with, "Oh, you missed this."
Hey, I'm all about Team Sammy.
You didn't do that.
I've said faith in Sammy more times this week than I can count. 4 times. Because there's been 4 days.
Okay.
That faith has been unrewarded as of so far this week.
Again, I don't think we need to be rude. I think it's just we have to flow the hustles and flows of the game.
Here's what I like about that 858 text. They use the word we. This is a family.
We're a family here at the Fletch Zone.
So let's hit it. What do we got?
All right. So we have Fletch. I have a lot on here, but I don't know what you want to veto.
Oh God.
Okay. So I have 2 NBA. I have 1 baseball. I actually had 2, but I forgot. Our listeners don't like it when we put the Padres in there because it's a little like you're rooting for one thing. We really just want the Padres to win. So I took Dylan Cease out. So I'm gonna start this. We got some boxing here. So starting with the NBA tonight, Dylan Brooks 9.5 field goals attempted. We're going more than. He hit this in the last game. He didn't hit this the previous 2. But 9.5 field goals attempted. You got to take into account here. These 2 teams do not like each other. Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green despise each other. Dylan Brooks gets booed every time he touches the ball in the Bay, except he can't help himself. He cannot help himself. I think Fred VanVleet has a little bit of a regression game here. If Jalen Green is not scoring like he hasn't been the last 3 games, he has not hit his over in every game except for game 2 where he had 38 points. Dylan Brooks, being one of the veterans on this team, is going to take a lot of shots in this game, more than 9.5 field goals attempted. This is a Fletch pick, and we're going to go with it. Buddy Hield, more than 9.5 points. I like this, too, because Houston's going to come out on fire. You think they're probably going to start with a lot more energy. I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors are down at half and are actually trying to come back in this game because this is Houston's last shot.
And Steph Curry's hurt.
Steph Curry's a little bit hurt. Buddy Hield in the corner. This is especially if Steph Curry's hurt, a lot of driving kick from Jimmy Butler. Draymond kind of running the high-low. Something that we saw very effectively against the Lakers in the Wolves series. But I think Buddy Hield gets in the corner, 9.5 points. Got on a little bit of a heater in the last one, more than 9.5 points.
Got 9.5 inches worth of teeth. Might as well get 9.5 points.
All right, Arizona and Philly, Merrill Kelly and Jesus Luzardo. We're going less than 1 first inning run, 0.5 first innings run. Now, some people might go, well, the Diamondbacks offense is really good with Carroll and Eugenio Suarez been on a tear. And then you obviously have Harper and Schwarber and all those guys up there in Philly. These are really 2 underrated pitchers. Jesus Luzardo is really good. He's got a really nasty changeup, really good pitcher. Doesn't probably get the love he desires, or not desires, but it should get out there in Philly, considering that he's a younger guy on the rotation. Merrill Kelly is kind of also another forgot about guy in the Diamondbacks rotation. Everyone talks about Corbin Burns. Everyone talks about Zach Gallen. Merrill Kelly, when they went to the World Series, it was Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen running the show. Merrill Kelly, a little bit of a rougher start to the year, but going to get it going. So less than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Now we're heading to boxing today. Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero, 20.5 fight time minutes. This is less than. This fight is not going to last long because neither guy has much defense. We touched on this yesterday. Rolly Romero throws from a lot of weird angles. Tank, he had a little bit of success early in the fight, but Tank walked him right into a straight left hand down the middle. Garcia's got a lethal left hook that I don't think Rolly's going to be able to block. He has a tough thing where he drops his right hand when he throws punches, and that is terrible for a counterpuncher in Ryan Garcia who throws left hooks. This fight is going less on fight time.
Times Square weather, by the way, a balmy 84 degrees today. Tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all rain in Times Square. So good thing they're doing this today.
This is a fight set up where it's going to be fireworks, but they're really trying to get the Haney Garcia down the line. This is a less than fight time. Another boxing pick. Teofimo Lopez, the second fight on the card, fighting Arnold Barboza Jr., 115.5 total punches landed. We're going more than on that. Teofimo Lopez is a really interesting fighter. He has probably the most accomplished fighter on the card. He beat Josh Taylor. He beat Vasily Lomachenko when he was number one, but he struggled against some guys, Sandor Martin, who he can't really get out of bed for. Not really the big names. The big games, he ups his competition. Arnold Barboza Jr. is a very good fighter. He beat Jose Ramirez in his last fight, who will be fighting Devin Haney tonight. But very technical, likes to work his jab. This fight is probably going to go the distance. These two do not like each other. I think Teo puts on a big show. It might be a late stoppage, but by that point, I think Teofimo gets 115.5 punches landed more than. So let me recap, and then Fletch can jump in here and veto something. All right, Dylan Brooks, more than 9.5 field goals attempted tonight for Houston. Buddy Hield, more than 9.5 points for Golden State. Merrill Kelly and Jesus Luzardo, 0.5 first inning runs allowed, less than. Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, 20.5 fight time minutes, less than. Teofimo Lopez, more than 115.5 punches landed.
Dylan Brooks, see ya.
You know, I like that. As I was saying that, I'm like, are we really putting faith in Dylan Brooks?
I'm not.
I like that.
And it's a Flex Friday, so it's a free entry.
All right, so to recap, Buddy Hield, more than 9.5 points. Merrill Kelly, Jesus Luzardo, less than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Ryan Garcia, 20.5 fight time minutes, less than. Teofimo Lopez, more than 115.5 total punches landed.
Bang.
We're getting back on track. We're so due. I mean, at some point, it's like Prize Picks needs to throw us a bone.
You mentioned Prize Picks, and by the way, if you are following along with Long Shots, I believe the best place to follow along with Long Shots is on the Prize Picks app, because that's where Sammy and I come up with these entries. Well, Sammy does a lot of the legwork on these. Today, I actually was a little involved, which I feel good about. But Prize Picks, great app. One of my favorites. I've played all the daily fantasy sports apps. Prize Picks has been my favorite. Been with them since November of 2023. You can join today. Use promo code Fletch. You're going to get a free $50 bonus when you sign up and you play your first $5 entry. An entry, we just gave you one right there. Sammy just listed off the names and the numbers that you need to know. But if you want to hear it one more time, we got today going. Buddy Hield, more than 9.5 points. Kelly and Luzardo pitching in that Phillies D-backs game, less than a run scored in the first inning. Ryan Garcia, less than 20.5 fight time minutes. And Teofimo Lopez, more than 115.5 punches landed in boxing. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get a $50 bonus. Today is a Flex Friday. You might have noticed the pecs are pecking today on a Friday. That's because we're flexing. And on a Flex Friday, you get a free $20 entry, fully guaranteed, meaning even if your entry loses, you are going to get that $20 back in promo funds. Download Prize Picks today. What are you waiting for? Use promo code Fletch. Get the $50 bonus. Share it with a friend so they can get a $50 bonus too. Download Prize Picks today. Use promo code Fletch and run your game all season long on Prize Picks.
This sport sponsored by Robert Half. Padres start a 3-game series against the Pirates in Pittsburgh. That game will be on Apple TV Plus at 3:40. Dylan Cease will be on the mound for the Padres, while Mitch Keller will be going for the Pirates. The Padres are currently favored to win at -150 with the run line set at 7.5. And legendary Hall of Fame head coach Greg Popovich is stepping away from coaching. He will be into the front office of the Spurs. Interim head coach will be taking over. At Robert Half, they found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why the recruiters' expertise in award-winning AI work quickly to find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Check the clock.
What time is it?
It's high noon. Let the weekend begin. It begins this afternoon as the Padres are in the Steel City for a series versus the Pirates. Plus, SDFC hosts Dallas FC.
We need to feel it on Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium.
And the Stanley Cup playoffs continue. Well, for some.
The Edmonton Oilers victorious 6-4 over the Kings tonight in Game 6. They win the series 4-2.
Sorry, Sammy.
I think this actually totally sucks.
We'll look for therapy in the Fletch Zone.
It's hour number 2 here on a Friday. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. If it's your first time trying us out, my name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. We sure do appreciate you being here. We cover a lot on this show. We like to talk gambling. We like to talk fighting. We like to talk San Diego sports more than anything. SDFC has another match at Snapdragon Stadium coming up this weekend against a team out of Texas. Let's send them boys back. It should be a fun weekend here in San Diego. Actually, tomorrow night, I'm heading down to the San Diego Zoo for the Wine and Brew Festival with the missus. Can't wait for that. But it's going to be a busy weekend of sports here in San Diego. But Sammy, not just in San Diego. Kentucky Derby's coming up this weekend. Are you a Kentucky Derby guy?
First off, nothing speaks gambling like horse racing. Del Mar, one of my favorite things to do in San Diego. Anytime someone comes to visit San Diego, always take them to Del Mar. Go bet on the ponies.
I lost my phone at the Del Mar racetracks one time.
Really? Where you
tipsy.
had a few too many beverages?
A little sauced. Played Torrey Pines and then went to the horse races right after.
Yeah. The horse places.
Horse races.
Oh.
Right after. Yeah, lost money, lost my phone. Great day out of the racetrack.
I heard a tip of someone, I had a friend, or my dad had a friend who was like a legit horse racing gambler. So the key is to don't bet every race because there's time in between. You want to throw money on every race. You'd be better off to take like $200 and bet 3 races and drop more money on them than bet every single race a smaller amount because the chances are they're going to clean you out. They know more than you do.
Yeah, my strategy has always been find the drunk guy who's like having a lot of fun and cheering and going crazy, and then just do whatever he does.
You think the drunk guy's good to look after?
Usually they just have some sort of intuition. My sister-in-law's 40th birthday was actually at I think it's Los Alamitos racetracks up there in Orange County. And I was there, and one of their friends, Tommy, was hammer drunk, but was winning a ton of money. So I just started following every bet that he put down. Walked out with like $600 that night. It was great.
Do you do just to win, or do you do like the boxes where you do like 1, 2, 3?
No idea.
That's actually crazy.
No idea.
All my gamblers know. I like to go stand by the paddock because there's usually some like
Chris Paddock, like the pitcher.
the paddock where they get ready.
The sheriff.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here we go. This is how we're kicking off hour 2.
Sure.
But there's always some old guy standing there, and he's like a pencil in his ear, and he's got a hat, and he's always just like kind of taking notes on the horses. Those are usually the people you want to follow.
So here's what we know. Horse named Journalism is the favorite. They're at 3-1 odds. Have you done your deep dive on Journalism?
They said they're the best.
I'm telling you, I really like the name Flying Mohawk, which is a real name of a horse that's racing this year at 30-1 odds. I feel like I like that a lot. Render Judgment at 30-1 odds. Coal Battle, 30-1 odds. The Sandman. Tell me Metallica is that horse's walkout song.
Do you bet on names, or do you bet on like tips you get?
I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever actually bet on the Kentucky Derby.
What?
Maybe if you are like telling me you have some crazy superfecta lock or something for this weekend, maybe I'll jump in.
Oh, it's the best. See, the thing is though,
it lasts like 45 seconds.
Well, yeah, that's why it's fantastic.
You wait all day. It's like, all right, Super Bowl Sunday.
Well, there's other races going on.
It's Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to sit down. We're going to have the queso over here. We got chicken wings going over here. Oh, potato skins. Don't bother me with a good time. We are going to sit and relax for all day. Oh, 45 seconds. It's over.
That's you got to bet the races before.
All right. I mean,
you gotta look to see some horses can be great, but they're good on grass. Some horses are good on the track. I'm excited for the Derby. We're gonna make some money on Saturday night.
I can't wait for it. Hopefully it turns around long shots. Maybe you do a special edition long shots for the Derby coming up.
For the Derby, giving out
today.
some money line picks.
We do have Steve Hartman joining the show at 1:30 today.
Steve!
I'm sure he's got thoughts on the Kentucky Derby. I'm sure Steve's got thoughts on LeBron's early exit and if LeBron will be back with the Lakers next year. Oh, he already is, right? Didn't he opt in?
Well, not yet. Sham's reporting he's expected to opt in.
I'm sure Steve will have thoughts on all of that. That's coming up at 1:30 today. But right now, we take a break for the biggest stories in the world of sports. Sammy Long, smash that button.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends?
I mean, coworkers.
It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
You can subscribe to the show on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. On X, you can stream it live every single day at Fletch and Sammy. Viva Padres on YouTube saying Ryan Garcia by a brutal knockout in 6.
I like that. I like that. And the over-under set at 6.5. I like that. I think it slightly hits the under, and I think Garcia gets it done.
Our buddy Rich McGuire, who we were hanging out with this morning, says journalism looks too strong, but I like American Promise as a long shot in the Derby.
Shout out to Rich, American Promise.
Rich knows
when
his
you
horses.
get those odds. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's some stuff, and it's fun because you can bet root for the Triple Crown. A lot of good stuff going on.
Let me see. American Promise.
We got horse race. We got
30 to 1.
boxing this week. We got a lot of fun stuff.
30-1 for American Promise. So are we following Rich?
I think we go with Rich.
When
Rich is a stand-up guy, dude. I was talking to Rich earlier. He knows his stuff.
But when they have odds that are like this locked in ahead of time, like the journalism, whatever, 3-1, that's a crazy favorite.
Yeah, but
they're not going to
horses are bred, but is it a Baffert horse?
Journalism's going to win.
Baffert, well, not every time.
What the hell does Baffert?
Bob Baffert, he's won a bunch of races over the years. Then it was a whole doping thing. It's a whole thing.
I did see a really cool story that Toby Keith has a horse that's in the races this year. Toby Keith, who just passed away. The legend, Toby Keith.
Is it American Promise?
I don't know.
All right, we'll figure that out. All right, let's go to the Padres. So what player, kind of touched on this earlier, what player, pitcher or a batter, is under the most pressure during this 9-game road trip for the Pods?
Say that one more time. I was looking up which horse Toby Keith was.
What player on the Padres can be a pitcher, bullpen arm, starter, or a batter is under the most pressure to perform in this 9-game stretch?
He's pitching today. His name is Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease has been boo-boo garbage as of 2025. And so Dylan Cease, we know, has ace stuff. We know Dylan Cease is a horse, speaking of the Kentucky Derby. He's going to go out and give you a lot of innings every single year. That's the one great thing about Dylan Cease, but he's also streaky. And so far, it's been the bad side of the streak. Can we get the good Dylan Cease coming out today? Out in Pittsburgh, which hitter-friendly ballpark, man. It's going to be tricky, but can Dylan Cease get back to form? That's what I want to see on this road trip, where he will have 2 starts.
I like Cease. I'm going to go with Bogarts. I know it's the...
Oh, he says he's back. Did you read Kevin Acey's latest article?
That's why I'm going with Bogarts.
Bogies is back.
So, listen to John and Jim yesterday. Jim made a good point. Rare time Jim made a good point. They talking about how Bogarts... I mean, we've seen... When you talk about awful, like you looked at the Eric Hosmer contract, I mean, he was flat out awful. And there's no part of Eric Hosmer's tenure with the Padres that you looked at and go, there was at least
he was part of Slam Diego.
He was a part of Slam Diego. Yeah, a little riding the coattails of Slam Diego a little bit.
He hit one of the Grand Slams, all right.
But Bogarts, he says I'm back. I'll give Bogarts this respect. He's very honest with the media. He tells it like it is, and I got to give him some love there because, as Jim pointed out yesterday, I mean, Eric Hosmer will go to the media, he wouldn't get a hit, and they'd be like, I don't know why everyone's pissed off. I mean, literally, like I've never seen an athlete do that.
Eric Hosmer was better than anybody on this planet at rolling over to the first baseman.
Oh, tremendous at it.
So good.
Bogarts, we want to continue this just because you had the home run against the Giants, big one that got the W on Tuesday, I believe. And then, I mean, rolling into this road trip, just because Arise is back, just because it looks like Merrill's coming back, Lockridge is coming back, you still need to be a part of this. You're making a ton of money. You have to put up not just spots where you can be okay. You need to become a consistent hitter in this rotation. Listen, is it realistic at this point to expect him to live up to a $350 million contract? Probably not. But get something from it. Do not kill the bats in the middle of the order. I like to see Xander Bogaerts have a big, and he's got a real opportunity. Short porch out there in New York. There's an opportunity to do this weekend and head into next week.
If Xander goes the rest of the year, starting right now, and he hits 270, is able. We're back.
Whoops. Never mind.
If Xander Bogaerts can hit 270, if he could have a little bit of power, it doesn't have to be a 25 home run season for Xander Bogaerts, but if he can get a 17 or 18 home run season going, I think Padre fans will be much happier with Xander Bogaerts than whatever crap we've seen for the last couple of years. Next.
All right, heading to the NFL. AFC title odds come out. Get this, Fletch. Buffalo's plus 325 to win the AFC. Baltimore's plus 325. The Chiefs are plus 350, and the Bengals are plus 850. I mean, do we have to keep going through the amount of disrespect and bulletin board material that gets thrown the Chiefs' way every year? Fletch, explain to me, because you love Josh Allen, why the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl and everything.
Josh Allen is due. Lamar Jackson is due. The Chiefs' reign is over.
Here's the thing. This is my problem with this.
Hang on. I'm not done yet, Sammy. The Chiefs' reign is over because Travis Kelce isn't Travis Kelce anymore. Like, honestly, like, you think about the ultimate safety net that Patrick Mahomes has had his whole career. You could talk about Tyreek Hill, and that was great when Mahomes wasn't really that good at reading defenses yet. He could just launch the ball down the field. He had the dude that was faster than everybody else. He went and got it. But once Mahomes has matured, his dude who matured right there with him was Travis Kelce, who was already a bona fide superstar in this league. I watched a lot of Travis Kelce last year. Doesn't look like the same player anymore. Am I supposed to believe that he's going to come back this year and be incredible?
No, but that is Travis Kelce being old has nothing to do with the Chiefs winning the AFC.
That's got something to do with Patrick Mahomes' efficiency.
The Chiefs are going to have the best receiving core they've ever had in terms of Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Hollywood Brown. Royals fell to him in the 4th round at Utah State. Should have been a day 2 pick.
Best receiving core they've ever had.
In terms of talent, yes. But forget all of that.
Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce.
This is not even me being biased. I'm literally urging our listeners right now, go to Vegas and place these odds. In the two teams that are favored above them, I would be okay with you placing Bengal odds before I'd be okay with you placing Bills or Ravens odds, because the Bengals have actually gotten the Chiefs before. They're plus 850, which I think the defense is gonna sell them at the end of the year. I don't think that that's sustainable. But the offense
about
is
not living in the past. You say that every day when we do long shots.
Here's the problem:
you're kind of living in the past with the Chiefs.
Let's look at Baltimore favorite and co-favorite Bills. Well, Mahomes is 5-0 against them in the postseason, but in 2-0 in their house. And then, by the way, we're going to, the worst season Mahomes has had is losing in overtime to Tom Brady and Joe Burrow. But then again, the AFC wants to doubt him. I'm telling you, get your slips in now. I mean, there's
nothing
crazy
about Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson being a little hungrier this offseason than Patrick Mahomes. There's nothing about these two guys.
You don't think you're going to be hungry if you get blown out in a Super Bowl?
Of course you are. But there's nothing about Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson who are thinking nonstop every second of this offseason about the freaking Chiefs and how they always can get almost there, but they can't get over Mahomes. I'm telling you, one of these dudes is going to be in the Super Bowl this year. Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Book it, not Patrick Mahomes' year. I don't even know that this might be the first time we do not see Patrick Mahomes in an AFC championship.
Oh, really? Okay, that's a discussion for another day. What is the most dangerous team in the Western Conference to Oklahoma City remaining?
If the Clippers can get past the Nuggets, it's the Clippers. If not, if the Nuggets get past, it's the Golden State Warriors. Does that sound fair? If the Clippers move past the Nuggets, which I don't think they will, I actually think Denver closes out the series, and I think that most likely means OKC is just kind of walking their way into the NBA Finals this year. But if the Clippers can get past the Nuggets somehow, they play tomorrow night, is that right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
If the Clippers can win that game, I actually think the Clippers have a better shot of taking down OKC than anybody else in the West, almost combined. If it's not the Clippers, it's going to be the Warriors. Warriors will not beat OKC, though. So if the Clippers get knocked out, that also means the rest of the West is knocked out. OKC in the finals.
So Denver, Houston, Minnesota, no chance.
Nope.
The Clippers is the one team in the West that has the depth to match Oklahoma City. Denver's got the two stars in Murray and Jokic. It is interesting. It kind of feels like everyone's in on the Clippers for this game. Vegas actually opened the Clippers as 1.5-point favorites tomorrow night in Denver. Everyone's betting Denver, though. It's got moved back to 1.5 there.
I think I got Denver, too.
It's tough because you talk about one game, Murray and Jokic can get it done. Now, over a series, if I'm Oklahoma City, I want Denver because they're going to get 2 games because Murray and Jokic will drop 80 combined points. But that's not going to happen over a 7-game series. They'll win the series. The Clippers have the depth with Powell playing really well, Zubac's playing great, Kawhi Leonard being the star he is, and James Harden kind of taking his game to another level. They have the depth to match. The Warriors' size comes into play a little bit, but Steph and Jimmy, can't count them out. The Timberwolves are interesting in that they have the size. They could cause problems like they did for the Lakers in terms of size for Oklahoma City, but you're going to have to need Julius Randle to continue up this pace. It can't just be Anthony Edwards doing it if they want to get by him.
Let's go Clippers. I would really like the Clippers to win tomorrow night. I would really like to be able to root for the Clippers the rest of the way. I think they have the best shot, and I would like to see Kawhi get another one. So I'm really hoping I'm wrong about tomorrow night.
It's going to be a good game. I basically take whoever's plus money.
Yeah, I think it's a good game too. I just think that Jamal Murray is going to be due for one of those moments where he kind of steps up in the final moments of a game and takes it.
He is like a clutch playoff performer.
Really
like he
good.
ups his game going into the playoffs.
He's very, very good. All right, quick break. Steve Hartman coming up at 1:30 today. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about Times Square today and how cool this is and what other sports can be doing to take advantage of stuff like this. Yeah, it might be gimmicky, but I promise you this is going to be one of the most popular fights on DAZN that they've had in a long time because of the venue, because of the star power. This is a cool thing the boxing is doing. Let's talk about it next. Hey, it's Fletch for Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. You're going to want to use promo code Fletch when you do because you're going to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 entry. Today is a Flex Friday. So on a Flex Friday, what do you got to do? Well, you place a $20 entry, and whether you win or lose that entry, that $20 is fully guaranteed. So if you lose, come back in promo funds. If you win, well, like with this lineup I have, you could put in 20 to win $100 with Buddy Hield more than 11 points and assists. Kelly and Lazardo, less than a half run scored in the first inning combined. Ryan Garcia, less than 20 and a half minutes of fight time today. And Tefimo Lopez, more than 115 and a half total punches landed. Both of those fights on the same card out in Times Square today. Download Prize Picks today, no matter what your sport is. If you're into e-gaming, Prize Picks has something for you. If you're into soccer, Prize Picks has a lot for you. Baseball, basketball, don't matter. Even some football season-long entries already available on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get that $50 bonus when you play your first $5 entry and run your game all season long. Basketball postseason, baseball regular season. It's about as good as it gets right now in sports. Download the app today. San Diego Sports 760 here on a Friday. Steve Hartman going to be joining the show coming up in about 10 minutes from right now. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. So coming up in what? Are we an hour away from the card opening up out there in Times Square?
2:30, yep.
And so what time is Ryan Garcia expected to fight? That one's at 4:30?
He's going to fight like 6. So they got some big prospect out of Japan fighting the first fight. Then Teofimo's fighting Arnold Barboza Jr., Haney's fighting Ramirez, and then Rolly will be fighting Garcia later on tonight.
And you're going to be locked in on this from 2:30 on.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting out of here fast.
Where are you going? Where are you watching?
I bought it at my house.
Look at you, Sammy Long, getting ready to go.
Dude, would you like to come over?
No. Today's a nap day for sure. But I'll try to get in for the Ryan Garcia
It's been a
fight.
tough week. It's been a long week.
It's been a long week. I've been having to deal with negative Sammy over here about his Lakers and Fat Luka and everything that's going on in his world with the Kings getting knocked out of the Stanley Cup. Like, Sammy's been a real downer, man. And then this morning, waking up a little bit early, had so much fun this morning. Thank you to everybody who came out to KMB Bistro and celebrated Dos de Mayo with Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. But yeah, it feels like a get home and curl up on the couch, put on 1923 and fall asleep as Spencer Dutton.
1923.
Spencer Dutton still hasn't gotten back to Yellowstone.
I dropped. Yellowstone was such a good show for the first season, and it just tanked.
Yellowstone did. The prequels have been incredible. I'm obsessed with them.
Grandson.
Yeah, it's really, 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 really good. But as we kind of move forward with our weekend, we kind of look at what's going on. And this boxing thing, I actually am kind of excited about. Sports are cool when you can add stuff to it that doesn't feel so forced, but is still really cool. Like a gimmick that's not forced can work. Forced gimmicks, out. This one feels awesome. This feels like, why haven't they already done this?
Yeah, no, this one's fun. It's definitely a different buzz around the fight. It's cool, but something that's killed boxing that the UFC has had for years, and why UFC is really gaining popularity, is because it's been under one promotion with Dana White. They gave people the fights they want. And a lot of people have criticized that Dana doesn't pay his fighters, but they don't just promote the main fight on the card. And that's something that has really hurt boxing for a long time, is they would just have the main event. They promote that. And the other 3 fights might be kind of outside of the diehard fans might not know. That's why this fight card is really fun, because Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, all really recognizable names, Rolly Romero as well. And so it makes it pretty fun. And yeah, it's cool that there's another little thing on this, that it's in the middle of Times Square that's unique in and of itself, that it's going to be literally in the middle of one of the busiest places on earth, and how they were able to do that. I can't wait to see it. They're already like live right now.
I'm excited to see the spectacle of how everything looks out there. Hopefully the rain stays away. We do have rain in the forecast for the Kentucky Derby, which if you listen to Sammy, you might think it's being done in Alcatraz, but no, believe it or not, the Kentucky Derby is in Kentucky, Sammy.
Really?
It is. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But there's rain projected, which could be a problem. Rain and thunderstorms, which I believe
I love
rain,
it.
But rain, they won't stop anything. Thunderstorms, if there's any sort of lightning, they have
maybe
to
a little
stop
rain. Maybe we take a little shot on a long shot.
You know what? That might help, because if you're thinking about like drawing out a day a little bit, we were talking about how like the Super Bowl is great because it's an all day affair. It's like you get there at 10 a.m. You're not leaving until 6 or 7 o'clock at night. With the Kentucky Derby, it's like you get all pumped up, all ready to go. It's over in 45 seconds.
You know that there's other races, though.
Of course there are. There's an undercard for racing, but who cares about the undercard?
If I don't, people go, oh, do you watch that sport? I don't like that sport. I go, if you can bet money on it, I am there. I don't care what it is.
Ladies badminton, played overseas.
Oh yeah, that KBO baseball at 3 a.m. Woo,
that was nice.
Win that money
COVID.
back.
We needed that during COVID. We all did, and I'm glad we had it. 858 Ben, please stop doubting the Chiefs. You're guaranteeing they will return to the Super Bowl.
858. Yep.
It's just really fun to see Sammy's face when you say something negative about the Chiefs, even if you don't really believe it. If you say something negative about the Chiefs.
I love when there's motivation. This is my favorite time of year.
We got Jim Russell making some faces outside the window.
I don't know
here.
what Jim Russell's doing right now.
JJ Redick was making some faces too, because today he met with the media, and the media asked him about Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, who to me, and I didn't want to say this out of fear of being a jerk, Luka Doncic looked a little chubby in the postseason, especially in the last couple games against the Timberwolves.
The whole team just looked old and slow, and it was
but when Luka first got to the Lakers, remember that picture came out of him in the long sleeve tee, and it's like, can you believe that Nico Harrison was calling this guy fat? And he looked great. And for a couple of weeks, all of a sudden the Lakers, they jumped from middle of the pack to top of the league defensively, and you're like, oh, Luka, all he needed was to go from Dallas to LA, and all of a sudden he's playing defense again. Something switched in the postseason. I don't know if he went back to his order in and out or what happened, but Luka, the shape wasn't where it needed to be. And so JJ Redick was asked about it. And to JJ Redick's credit, he said, look, I'm not going to talk about the guy's weight, but we need to be in championship shape. Kind of.
It's agreed across the board.
Calling him fat without calling him fat.
Yeah, well, it's tough when you see, LeBron, who's literally almost 41 and has got like a 24 pack, takes care of his body. Say we want about LeBron, but he completely takes care of himself. And yeah, it definitely needs to get in better shape. The whole team looked tired. Now, I will caveat Luka with this. He was the only guy doing anything offensively. He got no help from Reeves. He got no help from the bench. And then Redick played him all the second half after he had the flu. I mean, we got to forget he had the flu last Friday. That's why that game 3.
So if he was puking up everything, well, he filled it all back in real quick.
Listen, he's out in LA now. He's gonna get on those green juice diets, that keto. You're gonna see Luka Doncic.
They did announce today that he's committing to a much tougher offseason regimen.
Per ESPN.
Yeah.
That's interesting thing that just came out. LeBron, they asked him. He said it's not his job to make Luka sign. I was like,
I'd say, well, Steve Hartman has been pretty stagnant. Hasn't moved off the point that LeBron will not be a Laker next year.
Well, yeah, if they're choosing between LeBron or Luka, we know who they're choosing.
Steve Hartman is coming up next. We'll ask him the same question. San Diego Sports 760.
This sport is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. Padres get a weekend series coming up against the Pirates here at 340. The Padres are currently favored at -155 with Dylan Cease going for the Pods and Mitch Keller going for the Pirates. And tonight in the NBA, possible closeout for the Golden State Warriors. They will be in the Bay taking on the Rockets after the Rockets won Game 5. Golden State is currently favored by 5.5 with the point total set at 207.5. That game will get going at 6 o'clock. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about fun Mother's Day gifts, all for under $15? Get low prices every day on unique finds before they're gone. In-store only at Macy's Backstage today. Find a location near you at macysbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
SDFC back on the pitch tomorrow night, 6:15. Listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. They're taking on FC Dallas at Snapdragon Stadium. Buy tickets at sandiegofc.com. Head on out to a game. Ton of fun. Sammy and I went to a game a couple weeks ago. It is a blast out there at Snapdragon Stadium. As we do every single Friday around 1:30, we welcome on the GOAT, the legend of Southern California and sports talk radio in general, Steve Hartman. What's going on, pal?
Well, Fletch and Sammy, every once in a while, the old man gets it right.
Every once in a while.
I was talking about the Lakers, I told you the Clippers would go further than the Lakers. It may only be one day or two. But I mean, the Lakers situation is borderline catastrophic right now. And to be honest with you, with all the attention of Luka and LeBron, the real culprit here is JJ Redick. His postseason meltdown. How about walking off the stage, so to speak, before the final game? That really puts a good mindset into your team when your coach is losing, and then you're like, whoa. That was his whole career. That's who JJ Redick is. That's the way he was as a player. That's the way he was as a commentator. Why would he be any different as a coach? What a catastrophic coaching display we saw from JJ Redick. That was a huge factor in the Lakers getting blown out in the series by Minnesota.
Now, Steve, I know you can't see this. We are talking on the phone right now, but as you were talking, Sammy Long just shrunk lower and lower and lower and lower into his seat as you were talking about the Lakers, because I don't think you said a single thing that was wrong there. Now, you were bullish on the fact that the Lakers would not go as far as the Clippers. You were also bullish on the fact that LeBron James would no longer be a Laker after this postseason. Do you still think that?
I absolutely think that. In fact, he's already hinting along those lines. All right, so let's talk about his situation. He has a player option, $52 million. Like, well, who wouldn't sign a $52 million deal? When you're worth almost $1 billion, actually is worth $1 billion. $52 million is chump change. He has to decide two things. One, do I still want to play? In other words, this year was a year that he checked the final box. And he even said it after the loss to Minnesota, that playing with his son was the biggest accomplishment of his NBA career. So it trumps anything else he's ever done. 40,000 points, 4 championships, all the records he said. The biggest thing for him was to play with his son. Done. Check that box. So first we have to figure out, does he actually want to play? And if he does want to continue his career and get into free agency, obviously, if he turns down his player option, he would be a free agent by the end of June. Then he's on the free agent market. And I think that he's looking at, all right, it's not so much about the money as an opportunity to win another championship. And I'm sure there are plenty of teams that would like to add LeBron James to their roster. So, of course, the problem for the Lakers is they don't get anything in return. The good news for the Lakers, they free up $50 million, which they desperately need to start building a team around Luka Doncic. Even LeBron said, Luka's 26, I'm 40. His future isn't based on my decisions. So if you're just hearing what LeBron himself is saying, it would seem almost assuredly that he is going to opt out. He's going to test free agency and then make the final decision. Does he want to continue his NBA career?
If you were Rob Pelinka, would you want him to opt out or would you want him to stay?
If I was Rob Pelinka, who obviously is always going to publicly kiss his ass as he did, and there's no reason not to. I've said this 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000 times more. when it comes to a resume, there is no one close to LeBron James. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, dwarfs Michael Jordan's career. But peak value, yeah, Jordan was a peak value better player and certainly was the biggest drawing card in the history of the NBA. But overall, who's had the best career? It's LeBron. So I think that privately, everyone in the Laker organization knows that he's an anchor around them right now. As long as he wants to play, they're very limited in what he can do. Is he going to become a defensive stopper at age 41 next year? That's not going to happen. So, and Luka doesn't play defense. And then very interesting was it that, JJ Redick took that shot without actually mentioning Luka by name, that we have to get in championship shape. I mean, wow. I'm still questioning whether Luka, who said, oh, yeah, I want to stay a Laker, we'll wait until he actually signs on the dotted line before we hear or make that final decision whether Luka wants to spend the rest of his life as a Los Angeles Laker.
So the Los Angeles Lakers are currently the Cancun Lakers, and the teams we have left in the West, obviously OKC has been a buzzsaw so far, but the Golden State Warriors, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Denver Nuggets, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Steve, any of them able to take down OKC, or is OKC going to walk right into the finals?
They're going to walk right into the finals, guys, and so are the Cleveland Cavaliers. This idea that Boston is waiting to see who's coming out of the West. Did you see the beatdown at Cleveland? Look, granted, Miami's a 10 seed, but that's a well-coached team. Eric Spoelstra was just humbled beyond recognition as they put a beatdown on him. So, I mean, it's the finals that the NBA desperately doesn't want. But if you're asking who are the two best teams, the answer is the same teams that have been the two best teams all season long, which are the Oklahoma City Thunder and Cleveland Cavaliers. So I don't expect anything different. I think Cleveland with home court advantage, if they get to Boston, I think they're going to have a walkover. And OKC, I don't feel threatened by anything left in the Western Conference.
Do you think that this is Kawhi Leonard's last shot to win a title?
That's a great question. Look, I will see what happens tomorrow. I mean, you have to favor Denver at home. Are the Clippers capable of winning that game? Absolutely. But it's going to take everybody playing at the top of their game. They're going to have to get Norman Powell like he was shooting last night. Harden had a good game. Zubac has to play well. But more than anything, Kawhi's got to come up big. So, yeah, I mean, I think tomorrow night's game is an absolute toss-up, Game 7, even though it's in Denver. But that being said, I don't see either one of these teams because next stop for them, they would have one day off, Sunday, and then Monday they're at OKC. I just don't think that bodes well. But as far as whether or not Kawhi can win a championship, can we count on him staying healthy for an entire playoffs?
Yeah, the NBA playoffs.
We'll see. So the fact is he's healthy right now. So I guess the answer to your question is, yeah, for now, this is his last best chance to win a championship.
The NBA playoffs also last like 2 months. So when's the last time Kawhi would a full 2 months staying healthy? We'll see.
Well, remember what happened in 2021, guys. You remember he got hurt in the second round,
right?
And then the Clippers still made it to the conference finals, but without Kawhi.
Steve, I appreciate chatting with you about basketball, and we could do that all day long. We could talk about baseball all day long. Golf doesn't matter. But you also have a certain area of expertise with the ladies. I know you do. And Bill Belichick seems to be in a little bit of a hot mess right now. What's your take on what's going on with his girlfriend, Jordan? Whether it's with the CBS interview, whether with the social media stuff that's going on, Bill Belichick and the mess that he's in. Do you see any light at the end of the tunnel for Bill?
I think what we saw on CBS was orchestrated by CBS. My guess is that, and from what I understand, is that, Belichick wants to be in control of everything. And basically, they went in with the idea that we're going to talk about the book. We're not going to get into my personal life and everything else. And his girlfriend, or whatever you want to call his muse, was basically, they took that one soundbite to take the story away from that and get eyeballs. I mean, when's the last time you were talking about CBS Sunday morning show? First time in a long time. So they orchestrated that for their own means. Look, one thing we know about Belichick, he has thrived on controversy his entire life. What happened the year that Brady was suspended for the first 4 games for Deflategate? They won the Super Bowl that year. Same thing with Spygate. So every time there seems to be some kind of adversity directed at him, it seems to work out for him in the long run. So, the idea that a 73-year-old Belichick is being led by the nose by some 24-year-old girl is complete fantasy land. You can make it look that way, but that's not who Belichick is. Belichick is Belichick. He is a control freak. He is a guy that wants to control the narrative, and for him to parade around publicly with a scantily clad 24-year-old is just the kind of thing he loves and flourishes with. So, yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about Belichick.
Steve, looking at the NL West, we have Padres 2-game sweep over the Giants. We're slumping a little bit before that. How do you see the NL West right now? Do you think the Padres are still number 2 if you're looking at the odds of the Dodgers?
Well, guys, I think right now we're very much looking at the possibility of all three of these teams in the postseason. So what's happening as we start the month of May has very little bearing what's going to happen at the end of the year other than exhausting your bullpen. I mean, again, the Dodgers have only had 2 pitchers step on the mound for the 6th inning this year as a starting pitcher. And that's why I keep harping on the number of innings that their bullpen is logging. Meanwhile, Bob Melvin, now with the Giants, is doing the same thing he did in San Diego in 2022 when he took over the team that had one of the most catastrophic collapses. Fletch, we were a part of that in 2021.
Catastrophic.
And what did he do in the next year? The first 2 months of the year, he didn't care if you gave up 10 runs. You're pitching 6 innings. I need innings. I need you to give me innings. Andy Green didn't understand that. I need innings. And what happened by the end of the year? The Padres bullpen completely dominated the Dodgers in the postseason. So I'm just looking right now at bullpen innings. That's what you need to be looking at as we get through May and get through June and July. It's a long, endless season. But if you are carving up your bullpen innings-wise this early, that's trouble down the road.
Steve's on fire today. He is sharp. He is focused. He's ready
sharp
to go. Steve, what do you got going this weekend?
I got a lot of TV, guys. In fact, I got TV tonight. I got TV tomorrow. I got TV on Sunday. A lot of my TV depends on the Clippers because KTLA, where I work in Los Angeles, is all about Clipper basketball because we are the pseudo Clipper station. And if they beat Denver tomorrow, then obviously I'll be doing a lot more TV over the next couple of weeks. Then we got my national radio shows, of course. Tomorrow I'll be working with my dear friend Olden Polynice. I love Olden Polynice. He's one of my all-time favorite people to work with. And then VG and I will do our Sunday shows. We can, finally turn the page on the NFL for a while.
How are we celebrating Cinco de Mayo?
That is a great question. All right, let me see here. So Cinco de Mayo is Monday. Unless if the Padres. If the Clippers win on Saturday, I might be working. I might be staying in LA, but not. I'll be heading back to Phoenix, and you know what that means, guys.
Hey-o,
you know what that means. You know what that means.
Let's go, Steve.
Yeah. That could be chew it, do it, and that's a big celebration there. But what about you guys? What are you guys doing? Come on, let me harken back like 4 decades. What exactly are your plans for Cinco de Mayo? Which, by the way, you could look it up. There's a place called Ponchos in Redondo Beach.
Yes, sir.
Not Redondo Beach. It's in Manhattan Beach. And for years, we used to go down there. We used to do our shows from Ponchos. It was like the ultimate Cinco de Mayo hangout. But where do you guys hang out for Cinco de Mayo?
We already did our Cinco de Mayo party bright and early this morning. Big
I think we're going Old Town doing margaritas.
Oh, now see, when I first came to San Diego, I was introduced to Old Town, like Old Town Mexican Cafe and some of the places, standards that have been there forever.
Cafe Coyote.
And, oh man, good stuff. Oh yeah.
Leave it to Sammy to go to the most crowded place in San Diego.
But that's where the party's at.
All right,
well,
Steve.
I mean, the party's there, oh man. Now you got me going, guys.
Steve, you come on down, dude. We'll go to Old Town.
We'll get you out of here,
I would
Steve.
love to. Like one of these days, as I told you guys, I actually have the key to the building. So I can walk into the building there in San Diego. Shh, don't tell anybody. Anytime I want. So it'll be when you guys least expect it. It'll be right around lunch. You guys get ready for the show. And who walks in the door? That's if you're there. You're not even there. Are you guys in studio?
Yes,
or are you guys the
of course we're in
remote
studio.
guys? How do you do it?
What are you talking about? We're in studio, Steve, every day.
That's the way it should be. I don't understand this. You know that in my 36 years of radio and 27 years of TV, I have never done a show from home.
Nor should
ever.
you.
Not once.
You look better with TV lighting on you.
Exactly. TV lighting is always makes that's the best stuff ever.
All right,
but
Steve,
I mean,
we gotta get out.
I like to go to work. I like to be in a studio.
You
That's
come
where
on
you
down.
should be doing a show.
Sooner than later, come on down. I got a seat right here for you. We'd love to do a full show with you. Steve Hartman, the best. Every Friday, we talk to him at 1:30. We got to get out, Steve, so we'll see you next week.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you too, Steve-O. Oh, he's the best. Didn't even get to Kentucky Derby with Steve. Maybe next time. San Diego Sports 760, final break of the day. When we come back, we're going to close this thing out with the dumbest thing Major League Baseball has ever done. That's next. Baby Bash on a Friday. Let's party. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. We are done in about 3 minutes. John and Jim taking over then. Day 2 of Marshall on the ones and twos. Love Marshall.
Marshall's the man around here.
All right. IT's Major League Baseball is doing the dumbest thing they've ever done. That's probably not true because they also banned all steroids, kept Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa out of the Hall of Fame like idiots. But baseball is throwing out rivalry weekend this year. And that's cool. I'm in rivalry weekend.
Yeah.
Like college football, rivalry weekend's the best, man. It's the absolute best. However, they're not taking actual rivals and pitting them against each other. Like, what are we doing here? So May 16th through the 18th, 15 series matchups that are considered either geographic or interleague rivalries. 11 of those series will be between prime interleague rivals. The Dodgers are playing against the Angels.
You're like, the Dodgers and Angels is not a rivalry.
The Dodgers have two incredible rivalries.
Yeah, the
right
Padres
now.
and the Giants.
Yes, the Dodgers-Giants rivalry when I was a kid, that was as good as baseball got. The Dodgers-Padres rivalry over the last few years, as good as baseball gets. So for rivalry weekend, we're going to do Dodgers-Angels.
I mean, they were talking to Mookie Betts somewhere on the Sunday night broadcast. They're like, because he was in Boston forever, how do you compare with the Red Sox, Yankees? Always kind of historic. He goes, Dodgers-Padres getting up there, man.
Glad you bring up Red Sox Yankees. Guess who the Yankees are playing?
Mets?
Yeah. Not
so
the
it's
Red
just
Sox.
it's just geographical rivalry week. It's not really a rivalry
know
week.
what to call this.
That's stupid. The Dodgers should be playing the Padres. Giants, Diamondbacks, you go Giants, Padres, Dodgers. That's ridiculous.
There we go. It's Mets, Yankees. It's Pirates, Phillies, Nationals, Orioles. It is Braves, Red Sox, Rays, Marlins. That one's kind of cool because ocean life. White Sox, Cubs, Cardinals, Royals, Guardians, Reds.
Are the White Sox playing the Cubs?
White Sox are playing the Cubs, yes.
Yeah, this is just a geographical thing.
Yeah, but this is dumb. A's, Giants.
Yeah, that's
Who are the
stupid.
Padres playing? Padres, Mariners.
But yeah, since when is the Mariners? What?
That's the Vetter Cup. That's a real thing. There's going to be money put towards it this year.
Yeah,
That's
but
cool.
that's not. They don't hate each other.
If you're going to call it rivalry weekend, I want it to be actual rivals.
Yeah, that's
it.
ridiculous.
This is dumb.
We got some good text real quickly. Did you notice from 360? Did you notice LeBron referenced AD as my guy after the loss on Wednesday? Maybe he actually doesn't want to play with Luka, but wants to play with AD and Kyrie instead in Dallas.
Maybe.
That's interesting. If that's the case,
that statement though from LeBron, it was like, yeah, my guy AD, and then he said what he had to say, and he was gone the next week.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was more that 360, but at the same time, I don't want to hear that from LeBron because for years he was asking from AD, I need you to be the one. He wouldn't step up and be the one. Luka, to his credit, has stepped up and been the one. They just all ran out of gas. So I like the text though.
747, please stop calling the Padres a rival to the Dodgers. Padres' biggest rival is Seattle. Maybe 5 years ago, not as of the last 2 or 3 years.
No.
The last 2 or 3 years, the best rivalry in all of baseball has been Padres-Dodgers. They hate each other. It's great.
First off, as someone who lived in Seattle, they don't think of
It's the Vetter Cup thing, and I get it.
I know,
it's like it's a big deal.
Padres Dodgers is something that look at the ratings. 747. I appreciate the text, but look at the ratings. I mean, look, the ratings were through the roof in the playoffs because Padres and Dodgers hate each other. It's the number one rivalry in baseball right now.
Everyone go watch some fights. Should be fun out in Times Square. Can't wait to see what it looks like. John and Jim are coming up next. Our boy Marshall's running the ones and twos again today. And it should be a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. San Diego Sports 760. Peace.